Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are finding yourselves in this awesome world today. So I'm so excited. And it is happy full moon, everyone. I'm so excited. We're going to have such a wonderful time here today. And I would love to hear from you. Who has been feeling the full moon? Who has been feeling the energy coming up? I want to hear from you. Let me know in the chat box. I want to know. Let me know. I'm maneuvering my screen here so that I can see you and I can hear from you. Tell me how you've been feeling, because this is an interesting full moon that's been coming up. Can any of you, oh, but most of you probably already know, if you did see the announcement of it, you probably know what the theme is today. We have one, yes, especially during the night. Yes. You know, interesting, I actually felt mine today. Anastasia said she's so tired. Yes, I am so tired too, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why and what's happening. Today is all about our inner child. It's all about a healing that's needed for that beautiful little inner child in us. So most of you might have been feeling that maybe you've been having some neck pain that's been flaring up a little bit. Maybe you've had some bone pain, maybe some leg pain, a bit more muscle stiffness, much more so than usual. And Anastasia and I here absolutely can agree that we've been feeling extreme exhaustion under this full moon that's been coming up. And what I've come to understand when I was feeling into these symptoms and having my friends messaging me, clients and students going, oh my God, Evette, all these things are flaring up. I'm like, yeah, you're exactly where you need to be. You're exactly where you need to be for this full moon. Because when we look at the psychosomatics, and then we also look, you guys know, you've been here with me quite a few times, you know the drill, you know how the body reacts to the moon and to the moon cycles, because 70% of our body is made of water, right? And then we've also seen how the moon cycles influences the water and the ocean tides. And I'm like, God, if it's doing that to the ocean, what is it doing to our bodies? It's also causing our body to move, to shape, because our heartbeat, our blood pressure, everything correlates together beautifully in sync, that allows the emotions to flow also through our body. We don't just experience it through cognitive experiences, but also through what I would call the emotional body. That's why sometimes when we feel a lot of stress coming up, we don't feel that great. We feel maybe irritated. There's some heavy emotions coming up. That's because, and then we have like a headache, right? Or we have neck pain, or we start to have like back pain. Maybe you're having a really stressful day at work and your back just starts to really ache. But if you're having a really great day, have you noticed that you don't normally have issues flaring up? That's why. Stress is also very much connected to our emotions, as you know. But our emotions is connected to the physical body as well. And that is the physical body's way of saying, hey, are you listening? I need you to hear me. We need to shift something. But we're so busy always deflecting and moving away from what the body is trying to say. We don't really learn to understand what is the body's algorithm. What is its pattern? What is its way of talking and communicating? Because it doesn't speak English like you and I do. It doesn't have like a specific verbal language, but it uses pain and discomfort as a way of communicating with us. And pain, as you know, is a call to action. Because when you are in pain, when you are feeling uncomfortable, the only thing that you want to do is to take action, right? Because you're trying to move away from the pain. Now, often the ways and the methods that we use to move away from the pain and discomfort, that is what can either make you stronger or ultimately set you up for a very destructive pattern that ultimately, at the end of the day, is going to cause you to massively self-sabotage. And then we have either psychological distress issues, anxiety, depression, and we can even have ailments flaring up. So what this full moon is telling us here is that our inner child needs a little bit of a healing. There's something within us from our past that we've been carrying with us for a while now, that we've been carrying with us, and we're trying to make it work. We're trying to, deal with it in different ways. We're trying to, pamper it a little bit. We try to deal with certain coping mechanisms. We're trying to get into different relationships because that inner child still needs that love. I've seen people in this phase now consciously just having these massive downloads and just massive awareness moments where they're like, oh my God, I just looked at my partner the other day, Evette, and I realized that my inner child was just waiting for my dad to love me. My inner child was just waiting for something to get back from this person. And that is what I love about this full moon, because it's coming like a thunderbolt and it's just going bang. Here's your stuff. Here's what you've not been looking at. Here's what needs to shift. This is what we need to focus on right now. And I have to say, I'm going to be really honest. My my experience with this full moon has been so spot on, because I was thinking, what am I going to talk about in full moon about the inner child? Like, I could feel the energy of this full moon vibe coming in, and it's saying inner child, we need to shift the inner child. But I'm like, God, this is a vortex. Like, which angle, which point, where do we even begin? Because the biggest mistake that we also do when we look at the inner child is that we look at it from an adult's perspective. That is the biggest mistake that we can make. Because now when we look back to our inner child and we think, oh, what is he or she missing? What is it that he or she could have won? What is it that he or she desired the most? And now we bring our vast life experiences and trauma and everything, and we're projecting a very advanced, almost like, intellectual perspective onto a small child's mind, which is actually very basic. It's very straightforward. What does a child want? Just love, acceptance, protection, food, and shelter. It's very basic. But then we come with these sabotaging coping mechanisms and all these other savvy tools and techniques that we learn to cope with our lives as we matured, and we try to project that onto a tiny little child that hasn't even experienced life yet. So be mindful of that. Here's step one. This vibe is telling you, be very mindful how we're going to be looking at our inner child. Be very mindful the perspective that we're going to be observing for this specific exercise today. And so where I realized the best question to ask, to start to see where and how is my inner child coming up, and how to make this absolutely laser target accurate for you, is I'm going to ask you right now, where in your life for the past 3 or at least 2 days, but this can also be a pattern that's going back at least 4 to 6 months now. So if it doesn't ring true for you in the next 3 to 2 days, past, right? Look back, look at what your pattern for the past 4 to 6 months. Where in your life have you been feeling really impatient? And I would love to hear from you in the chat box. Talk to me, let me know. Where in your life have you been feeling really impatient? Impatient, maybe a bit snappy. It's like you just like, oh my goodness, I just do not have the time for this. This should have happened yesterday. Why is it not happening right now? It's almost like you have to really consciously control that part of you that's on the brink of having like a little bit of a tantrum. A little bit of a tanty that we want to have here. Yeah, it feels like it's really that impulsive. Impatient to my own healing. Exactly. Very good. That is one example. For me personally, what I've been feeling, a sense of impatience, is like I have this vision of what I want to do. I know where I want to go. I know where I want to be. And it's like I just feel like I can't get things to come together just fast enough. Like I know everything, how it should work inside and out. But it's like just to bring the components together. Sometimes it's people that you rely on. Sometimes it's systems that you rely on. Things that you can't always control. So of course there's aspects that's going to feel like it's spiraling out of control. And I've noticed that that's the part of me that's just waiting to feel like I'm worthy. I'm worthy of having all these things just finally being fallen into place. And I sat there when I realized that, and I'm like, oh, how insightful. How insightful. And I realized that my inner child that always felt like she was doing things and busy creating things and projects, and it's here, and then it's there, and just feeling like I'm not seen, feeling like that what I'm doing is just not appreciated. And I'm like, because that little girl, that little inner child for me is still working her butt off through me to do and create things that would make her feel worthy. So that's what's going to be my focus point for me, for example, for today's full moon. So my question to you is, where in your life do you feel that you're being really impatient? And when I say impatient, it's like you almost don't have the intellectual capacity to pep talk yourself out of it. It's like you can't even rationalize yourself and say, yes, but this and this and this still needs to happen, this and that. But it's kind of like, you know that. You hear yourself saying that, but it's not enough to make you feel satisfied with as to the reason why you're feeling so impatient. So someone has said here, so feeling too attached to the result that it must be a certain way or a certain time. There we go. So my question to you is, what would happen if something didn't work out a certain way or a certain time? Is it maybe that your inner child lost, or he or she felt the loss of support or acknowledgement or praise if you didn't do something perfectly at a perfect time that would please someone whose response you're looking for? And it could be that maybe you did make that one mistake where you didn't, live up to something quick enough or fast enough in a certain way or at a specific time. And then you received that negative feedback. And that anchored in. That formed part of a subconscious memory. And it could be now that that memory is being used as a fear factor to motivate the subconscious mind for you to act in certain ways, because subconsciously that inner child is avoiding maybe the loss of rejection or the loss of love, whatever the perceived consequences for you was or were at the time. I hope that helps, because that's actually quite very interesting there as well. So is everyone starting to see the pattern, the algorithm, to observe here, to see what is happening? And the inner child also, if some of you have been feeling maybe a little bit bloated, maybe a little bit indigestion, maybe just even a little bit uncomfortable here in the abdomen area, like around between the stomach and the solar plexus. Perfect. That's exactly what is happening right now. That is also where the inner child's core power is being held. And so, of course, if your stomach is starting to flare up, you're feeling maybe unresolved, stress with a stomach happening. Now we know that maybe there's issues and unresolved wounds between you and mom. Your inner child wants to heal something that is unresolved between you and mom. And if it's the solar plexus, right? The solar plexus is kind of like a bit more like a sternum here. I mean, you can see me here on Facebook, but you can't see me here on Zoom. But it's like just below your chest bone, right? That long column from your stomach down. Now we know that's dad. Okay, so where is your inner child maybe still looking for something from dad? There's something incomplete. There's something that's feeling maybe a little bit wounded. So, and of course also, like I said, the neck area. I felt the neck yesterday and I'm like, this is intense, this is strong, because what I felt was a sense of my inner child wanting to run and go do this one thing. And then going and running to do something else, but then feeling like mom and dad's coming in and saying, no, you can't do this. No, don't do this. No, don't do that. Or you can do this, it's against our religion. No, you can't do that because, you know, everyone is watching, or it's against the family values, or is this or is that. Like there's a conflict between where you want to go, where that inner child just wants to go wild. And when I say wild, I mean it in a good way. I mean it in a positive way, where you want to move, you want to shake, you want to do something, you want to be creative. You finally made a decision, you set your mind on something, and you're so fearless and you're so excited and you're so happy to just jump and zoom straight into it. And then bam, someone comes in and they go no, or they're corrected, or there's a negative reaction, or there's like that wall that you feel you're hitting. That's the neck. That's why the neck is flaring up today. That is exactly what's going on. So, and it begs, of course, the question, where in your life right now are you feeling impatient? Are you feeling maybe angry, frustrated? Because there's like this invisible something that you just cannot explain. You can't put your finger on it, but it's like there's something that you feel held back by. You feel held back, but you don't know why. It's not really someone's permission that you need, but it's almost like this feeling of like someone is going to come and stop me, or someone is going to come and sabotage this, or it's almost like you're waiting for something to just go wrong. This is an excellent example of where you were so beautifully in the flow as a child, and then someone just comes and they ruin that, or they step in, or they do it because they try to protect you, or they do it because they try to control you, or they do it because they love you, but love for their language is to control you, and this may be how you perceive it now. So there's a huge continuous miscommunication of languages for love. And even though sometimes an intention is good from a parent, a child might not perceive it that way, because anything that disrupts the flow, the excitement, like whatever. And I see my daughter, she's 11 months old. I see her, she's got her mind focused on something, like she's like laser targeting an object and she's going at it. And I can see that if she grabs it, maybe there's a cord cable or something, and I just gently take her hand and I say, no, let's go here. And I try to turn her around and deflect her. Oh my God, it's like the end of the world. It's like someone just died. But that's because, of course, she doesn't have the capacity to self-soothe, so I have to help her with that. But it's that reaction, you know, it's like my intention was good, but for her, it's like now I'm like the fun police. I'm completely ruining her moment of just having fun. So my question again, I would love to hear, where in your life do you feel this feeling perhaps that someone is about to maybe ruin something? I wouldn't even use the word ruin, or interfere. Someone might just interfere or try to control something, and you have a fear that you're going to lose what it is that you're trying to create. So what do? We just don't bother, or we self-sabotage, right? Because why even try? It's not going to work, so why even try? Who here has that attitude? Who here sometimes feel like that? I really struggled with that late last year, and I really had to mentally start to break through that. So if I look at a pattern for me that was starting about 4 to 6 months ago, that was exactly it. And then there was another aspect of my self-worth that was coming through this week, where I connected that to what I do, or having to do something. This is so true for me, I can't believe it. Right, Tamara? Yes! I'm so happy that this relates for you as well. My life story. Anastasia. And then someone also said here, someone also said in my womb and my period started. Exactly. So that's also about connections to mom. That's also connections to femininity. So maybe where in your childhood did you really start to explore your femininity? Where in your childhood did you start to really dive into that, to have fun with that? But then you associated that perhaps with maybe stress. Maybe there was aspects of you where you were maturing into becoming a woman and you couldn't communicate yourself. as a woman, because that's also what bleeding and blood is all about. It's about communication. And if we look at it, in the womb and the ovaries area, now we know it's about our connection, our relationship to our femininity as well. So and normally when we're that young, that's when we start to explore femininity. Like, oh wow, I'm a female. This is all everything that's happening. Am I masculine? Am I female? Am I? Because even if you're a female, you can be also very, very masculine. But it doesn't make you any less of a female, right? It's just a matter of how you choose to express your characteristics. Sadly, it's just old school beliefs that makes this, if you're a woman, you have to be feminine. If you're a man, you have to be masculine. That's already been blown out of the water by today's society. We're modernizing so crazily. It's unbelievable. And it's good. It's good because finally people are finally feeling safe to step into their real true identity. And the more we're starting to do that, the more these old concepts of what we thought to be true is just starting to fall apart. It's all starting to fall apart. A lot of it doesn't ring true anymore. Someone also said here, I feel stuck in my business, that I'm stuck and I can't produce or develop anymore, and I stopped doing nothing for months. Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like that feeling of you're in that flow, you're going, you're doing, and then there's constant intervention, there's constant disruption, not necessarily deliberately, but maybe even subconsciously. And then there's a part of us that just can't, you're being pulled out of that beautiful flow. All right, everyone, so let's do this. I would love to do a healing meditation with you now. Let's go and let's heal that beautiful inner child. And so, when you are ready, I invite you now to lie down, or you can sit up, whichever way is most comfortable for you. I invite you now that just have this intention with me, that we're going to look at healing the inner child and let go of how you think that should look like. I'm going to guide you through this step by step. And let's start now by taking a nice deep breath. And now, let's just start by focusing on our breath. Let's focus on this beautiful algorithm of our biological body that's just spontaneously, automatically functions and works on its own without conscious thought. And just observing this beautiful breath, breathing in and breathing out. And knowing that every breath that you take is contributing to your quality of life. That something as simple as this air that you're inhaling is keeping you alive, and it's bringing and breathing life into your relationships, into your projects, your future goals, your dreams, your aspirations, everything that it is that you want to become. Just having, just temporarily, this awareness of this powerful yet simple aspect of you. And as you're feeling your lungs deflating, and then becoming bigger again as you're inhaling, I invite you to hear, feel, see, or sense a beautiful light above your head. This beautiful beam of light that's just beaming down. Give it any color of your choice. Have fun, be creative, be playful. Let that inner child come out and play. And as that beautiful light is flowing from your head, down your body, down, 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 through your chest, your arms, stomach, spine, your hips, and out your feet, just down, 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 into the earth. Just feeling how all that stress is just releasing. Just allow it to release. Allowing your lungs and your adrenals, all these parts and aspects of you that feel tired, to just relax. Feeling how all that old stress is just draining out of your body, just down, 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 down. And also acknowledging the difference between your identity and other people's stress. Also just feeling how other people's stress that you might have taken on is just draining out of your body, just down, 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 into the earth. And just feeling this beautiful space that's just opening up. Feeling how your body is just expanding and expanding. Feeling how it's expanding in the absence of this old stress that you have shifted just now. And now I invite you to hear, feel, see, or sense yourself in an empty space or an empty room. Really observe and sense and feel the emptiness of that room. Make it a nice, light colored room. I love the color white. Because if you look at all the colors of the universe mixed together, you get white. And as you are in that space, I invite you to see or sense now a beautiful door. Beautiful door. And the door is closed and you're looking at it. And I invite you to walk towards this door. And as you're walking towards the door, you're seeing the handle is like someone is trying to open up the door from the other side, but they can't quite open it. And so you reach out and you open the door. And as you open the door, you see your little inner child standing in front of you. And as you're looking down, you can see him or her. I invite you now to kneel down and look at him or her and ask that inner child, what do you need right now? What do you need? And I'm going to go quiet for about a minute or so, just allowing you now to observe this process and just let it unfold as it needs to. Let it unfold. I invite you to also observe that inner child. Look at him or her. And I invite you that through this connection and this observation, that you also remember that part of you that is innocent. That part of you that do have good intentions, kindness. That part of you that do and can see the best in others. That inner child that loves fearlessly. And also that inner child that just wants everyone to be happy. But also in that moment, to remember that it is also your birthright to be happy. It is also your birthright to be loved and supported. And now, as you're still there in that place and space, I invite you to hear, feel, see, or sense a beautiful ball of light. And the ball can be the size of a basketball or as big as you need it to be. And this ball of light is going to hold the beautiful emotions, actions, and resources that your inner child needs right now. Hearing, feeling, seeing, and sensing that beautiful ball of light that is just lighting up with all these beautiful colors. Feeling filled and saturated with all these beautiful positive resources. And I invite you to allow that ball of light to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And allow it now to come over you and your inner child. Feeling how both your bodies is just absorbing and merging with that beautiful light. Feeling how these beautiful positive resources are just igniting and reviving all these beautiful positive qualities through every single cell in your body. Knowing that there is a part of you that remembers what this feels like. Because you are an expression of your ancestors who have experienced thousands and thousands of years of lifetimes and experiences and vast wisdom that is being stored and held in your genetic makeup. And we are now igniting and waking up these beautiful positive resources. So even if there's a part of you that never experienced certain resources in your childhood, the memory of that is in your biological makeup. And now it's time to remember. And just as that beautiful light's merging over you and your inner child, if you feel comfortable, I invite you to give him or her a hug. And let him or her merge into you, becoming part of you, because you were never separate. And let's integrate this part of ourselves back into our adult selves. Allowing these beautiful parts now to gently coexist in harmony and with ease and with grace. What you can do is you can also take a nice deep breath with me. And knowing that you are exactly where you need to be in your life. If you were meant to be somewhere else, then you would have been there right now. And that means that you are exactly where you need to be. Once again, allowing a beautiful light, that beam of light, to flow from your head, down your spine, down, 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 out your face. Just integrating and balancing this beautiful healing that you just went through, that I facilitated here with you. Allowing every single cell in your body just to integrate that. Be with that. Merge with that. And also knowing that during the night as you sleep and during the day as you progress throughout your day and night, that this healing will continue to integrate and become stronger and stronger and stronger. And for you to ease even more and more and more into this beautiful inner child side of you. To embrace that part of you. Embrace it with discernment and in a way that makes you feel safe and in control. Once again, allowing a beautiful light to flow from your head, down your body, out your feet, into the earth. Grounding you, anchoring you into the earth. And also when you're ready, you can start to wiggle your toes, wiggle your hands, and give yourself a nice big stretch. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and gently come back. And welcome back, everyone. How are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Let me know. I would love to hear from you in the comments bar or the chat box. Feeling good? That was wonderful. Yay! So happy to hear from you. Very good. I have you guys here on Zoom and on Facebook. Loving connecting with you all everywhere. Yay! So beautiful. I feel like I gained my self-trust again. Very good. That's beautiful. I'm so happy to hear that. Amazing. Yay. Fantastic. Wonderful. All right, everyone. So happy that you enjoyed that. And also remember that we have so many cool events also that's coming up. Go check it out at evetterose.com. A lot of free healings, a lot of free webinars, healing events. We have, oh my goodness, we even have like intuitive body reading workshops coming up again. It was hugely famous this year in the beginning and also last year. We're doing it actually again. So I would love to have you there. Also, we have self-love coming up. What else? We have the happiness workshop coming up. We have communication workshop, anxiety workshop. Check it out at evetterose.com. We have the level 1 MAT rapid growth coming up with me, and all these events are live with me online. So we'll be connecting, we'll be talking a lot, we'll be sharing a lot, and I'll be talking you through a lot of powerful healing sessions. And I'm so excited because I will always be sharing my latest and greatest breakthrough research also with you behind these blocks and psychological challenges. I'm very excited to have you there. So guys, check me out at evetterose.com. And until next time, be the light that you are. Bye everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good evening, wherever it is that you are. Bye everyone. Kisses.